Hey, welcome. I'm really glad you're here, because this might be the most important video you watch this year. There's a reason why some people walk into a room, and the whole energy shifts. They don't shout, they don't beg, they don't try to prove themselves. But still, everyone notices them, everyone respects them, everyone listens when they speak. What do they have that you don't? It's not money, it's not beauty, it's not status, it's psychology. Not the kind you read in textbooks, not the boring, complicated theories. I'm talking about real, raw human behavior. The invisible rules that control how people treat you, how they see you, and how you see yourself. Most people go through life being played like a puppet. They react to everything. They over-explain. They chase approval. They apologize for their existence. And then they wonder why no one respects them, why no one values them, why life feels so heavy. But there's a secret. Once you understand human behavior, once you learn how the mind works, you become dangerous in the best way possible. You stop being the victim. You stop being confused. You stop asking, why did they ignore me? Why did they lie? Why don't they love me back? And instead, you start choosing how people see you. You start walking differently. You speak less, but people listen more. You become calm, but powerful. This video is not just a list of tricks. It's a transformation. These are not tips. They are invisible laws of psychology that no one taught you in school, but they shape your relationships, your confidence, your success, and even your future. If you understand and use these truths, people will respect you. People will listen. And most importantly, you'll start respecting yourself in a way you've never done before. So if you've ever been underestimated, ignored, talked over, used, insulted, or forgotten, this video is for you. Also improve your English listening practice. Don't just watch it. Let it enter your system. Let it rewire how you think. Let it build something powerful inside you. Something silent, strong, and unshakable. Let's begin. Truth 1. Respect yourself first. Or no one will. Let's begin with the one truth that controls everything else. If you don't respect yourself, no one else will. It sounds simple, but most people don't understand what self-respect really means. Self-respect is not about standing in front of the mirror and repeating positive quotes. It's not about pretending you're confident. It's not about shouting louder than others. Self-respect is invisible. It's in the way you walk. It's in the way you sit. It's in the way you say no without apologizing. It's in the way you don't chase people who disrespect you. Let me explain with a real-life example. Imagine a person walking into a room, shoulders down, eyes nervous, smiling too much, apologizing for every little thing. They say sorry before speaking. They keep adjusting their body. They try to make everyone comfortable, but at the cost of their own comfort. Now imagine another person who walks in silently, slowly, with calm eyes. They don't explain everything. They don't rush to be accepted. They speak only when they feel it's needed. They sit straight. They don't laugh just to be liked. Who do you respect more? That's the difference between trying to be liked and commanding respect. And here's the secret. The world mirrors back how you treat yourself. If you accept being treated badly, they'll treat you worse. Keep explaining yourself. They'll never truly listen. Try to prove your worth. They'll always question it. Apologize for everything. They'll assume you're weak. But if you walk with calm purpose, they'll notice. Set quiet boundaries. They'll adjust. Say no without guilt. They'll hesitate before crossing you. Stay calm in chaos. They'll see strength they can't shake. Respecting yourself means protecting your time, your energy, and your peace. It means not arguing with people who enjoy chaos. It means walking away from people who insult you without trying to change their mind. It means being okay with being misunderstood because your truth doesn't need an audience. But here's the problem. We live in a world that teaches us to earn respect by doing more, pleasing more, and proving more. That's a trap. Respect is not earned through performance. It's earned through presence. And presence begins when you decide, truly decide, to stop shrinking yourself to fit into places that never saw your worth. The moment you stop chasing, they start noticing. The moment you stop proving, they start wondering. The moment you stop begging, they start respecting. And yes, some people will still reject you. But that's not failure, that's clarity. Because when you finally respect yourself, you become allergic to anything that doesn't match that energy. So here's your first silent weapon of psychology. If you walk into the world acting like your worth is negotiable, it always will be. But if you walk into the world with quiet self-respect, no need to explain, no need to perform, you'll start seeing something magical. People will treat you exactly the way you treat yourself. Truth 2. Don't react quickly. Control is power. Most people think being fast is smart. They think if you answer quickly, you seem confident. They think if you react instantly, you seem strong. But real power doesn't rush. In psychology, there's a powerful truth. The person who controls their reaction controls the situation. Let's understand what this really means. Imagine you're in a meeting. Someone suddenly criticizes your work in front of everyone. Most people would react immediately. That's not true. You're wrong. You don't understand what I did. That's emotional. That's reactive. And that gives the other person power, because they just made you dance to their emotion. Now imagine something different. You pause, you breathe, you turn slowly, you look them in the eye, and instead of speaking fast, you say nothing. Just silence. A slow, calm look. Maybe a short sentence. Noted. Or interesting. Let's discuss this after. That silence hits harder than any emotional outburst ever could. Why? Because silence equals self-control. And in psychology, self-control is deeply connected with leadership, respect, and strength. Here's something even deeper. In every conversation, there's a silent war, a war of reactions. And the person who reacts less usually wins. Here's a real-life example, not the usual ones you hear. There's a psychological trick used by high-level negotiators, people who make billion-dollar deals. It's called the silent pause trick. When they say their price, they go silent. They don't explain. They don't justify. They just look at the other person and wait. That silence creates pressure. The other person gets uncomfortable. They start talking. They start revealing their weaknesses. They lower their demands. They break first. That's not manipulation. That's understanding how humans work. And here's how you use this in daily life. Someone insults you? Don't react. Let them feel the weight of their own words. Someone questions your decisions? Stay calm. Ask them, what would you have done differently? Someone tries to argue? Say, I hear you. Let's talk later when emotions are low. Every time you delay your reaction, you buy yourself mental clarity. You make better choices. You show maturity. You break their pattern. Most people are used to instant responses, but when you don't react how they expect, They start seeing you differently. Suddenly, you're not emotional. You're focused. You're thoughtful. You're powerful. Because here's the truth. Control doesn't come from being louder. It comes from being unshakable. So the next time someone tries to trigger you, don't rush. Don't respond to win. Respond to lead. Because in a world where everyone is reacting, the one who pauses rules. Truth 3. Forming a habit takes 66 days. You've heard it before. It takes 21 days to build a habit. That's a lie. It sounds nice, it sounds easy, but it's not true. And that's why people fail. In 2009, a real study from University College London discovered the truth. On average, it takes 66 days to build a real habit. That means 2 full months of repeating something daily before it becomes automatic. Why is this important? Because people give up too soon. They go to the gym for 2 weeks and say, "I'm not seeing results. It's not working." They try waking up early for 10 days but miss 2 days and quit. And they blame themselves. They say, "I have no discipline." No. The real problem is they were never told the truth. Real transformation takes time. Think about a bamboo plant. For the first few years, it doesn't grow above the ground at all. You water it, you protect it, you feed it, and nothing happens. People walk by and laugh. Why are you wasting your time on that? But in the 5th year, yes, the 5th year, the bamboo suddenly grows 90 feet in 6 weeks. Now let me ask you, did it grow in 6 weeks? No. It was growing underground for years. It was building roots. It was preparing. That's exactly how habit formation works. The first 10 to 20 days, your brain is resisting change. The next 20 days, your brain is negotiating. And only after around 60 days does your brain say, "Okay, this is who we are now." So, what's the lesson? Stop thinking of change as a 2-week sprint. Start thinking of it as a 2-month transformation. If you can just do one thing for 66 days, whether it's waking up at 5 a.m., reading 10 pages, working out, meditating, not reacting emotionally, learning English, your brain will start doing it without effort. And here's what's even more powerful. Most people quit at day 15. Some reach day 21 and quit by day 30. But if you go all the way to day 66, you separate yourself from 95% of the world. You become one of the few who actually rewired their brain. You become dangerous, not to others, but to the version of you that used to give up. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one habit, just one. And don't ask, "How can I be perfect?" Ask, "How can I be consistent for 66 days even if I'm not perfect?" That's the real question that leads to real transformation. Because in the end, it's not your motivation that shapes your future. It's your habits. And habits are not built in 21 days. They're built in war. War against your excuses. War against your laziness. War against your past. And that war takes time. 66 days. That's the price of the new you. And once you pay it, that version of you is yours forever. Truth 4. People value what is rare. So stop being always available. This is one of the deepest truths about human psychology. When something is always available, it loses its value. It's not just about relationships. It's not just about time. It's about how the human brain works. Psychologists call this the scarcity principle. The more rare something is, the more people value it. It doesn't mean you should play games. It means you should protect your energy. Imagine you go to a bookstore. There's a book that's always on the shelf. Hundreds of copies. Same price. Same cover. You think, maybe I'll get it someday. But then one day, there's a book with a note. Only one copy left. This edition will never be printed again. Suddenly your brain panics. I have to buy this. I don't want to miss it. Even if you don't need it, you want it. That's how humans are wired. We want what we can't always have. We chase what feels rare. We value what seems limited. Now apply this to your life. If you always reply instantly, always say yes to every plan, always adjust your schedule for others, always explain yourself even when no one asked, you're training people to believe you're unlimited. And when people believe you're always available, they stop valuing your presence. But when you take time to reply, say, I'm busy, but I'll let you know. Set healthy boundaries. Say no without guilt. Suddenly your time feels valuable. Your presence feels special. Your silence starts speaking louder than your words ever did. Here's what most people get wrong. They think being loved means being constantly available. But real respect comes from being selectively present. Let me give you a deeper perspective. Think about the sun. It rises and sets on its own schedule. It never apologizes. It never begs for attention. And still, it gives life to the entire planet. Be like that. Be available, but not always. Be kind, but not everywhere. Be present, but not predictable. Because when people can predict your behavior, they start controlling it. But when you value your time, your energy, your boundaries, people start valuing you. You don't need to beg to be respected. You just need to stop giving everything away for free. Your time is gold. Your attention is rare. Your presence is a privilege. Start treating it like that, and watch how everything changes. Truth 5. Don't show all your weaknesses. Stay mysterious. In a world obsessed with being real and being open, most people are making a dangerous mistake. They share too much, too fast, with the wrong people. And then they wonder why they feel broken, exposed, and used. Here's the truth. You can be honest without being open. You can be real without being readable. You can be kind and still protect your mind. Let's go deeper. There's a dangerous myth floating around. Vulnerability builds connection. Yes, but only when it's earned. If you walk into a room and start telling everyone your problems, your pain, your past, you don't look brave. You look exposed. And sadly, the wrong people will use that against you. Imagine you're holding a beautiful crystal. It's rare, it's fragile, it's valuable. Would you hand it to every person walking by on the street? No. Why? Because not everyone knows how to hold something fragile. Some will drop it. Some will steal it. Some will laugh and say, it's not that special. Now realize your emotions are that crystal. Your past is that crystal. Your dreams are that crystal. You can't hand them out to just anyone and expect protection. Mystery is not coldness. It's protection. It's strength. It's wisdom. When you stay a little mysterious, people become curious. They ask more than they assume. They respect your silence. They chase your attention instead of running from your oversharing. It's basic psychology. We value what we don't fully understand. So be a little unpredictable. Don't reveal your plans too early. Don't explain your sadness to people who don't ask with their heart. Don't open your wounds to people who never offered you healing. Here's the secret. The most powerful people in the room are the ones no one can fully figure out. They speak less, but when they do, it hits. They show emotion. but only when it's safe. They express love, but only after trust is built. That's not manipulation. That's emotional maturity. You don't owe your truth to everyone. You owe it to yourself to protect it. So next time you feel like oversharing to feel seen, pause. Ask yourself, does this person deserve this part of me? If the answer is no, smile gently and say less. Sometimes the most powerful sentence is the one you never say. Truth 6. When insulted, look them in the eyes. There will be moments in life where people insult you. They'll try to embarrass you. They'll try to push your buttons. And the world expects you to do one of two things. 1. Fight back and look emotional. 2. Stay quiet and look weak. But what if I told you? There's a third option? Look them dead in the eyes. Say nothing. Just hold your ground. It sounds simple, but it's one of the most psychologically powerful moves you'll ever make. Let me explain with a very real, deep example. Imagine someone calls you out in public. They mock your clothes, your job, your looks, your past. They expect a reaction. That's the bait. They want to see you break. They want to see anger or insecurity or fear. But you just look them in the eyes, with calm, with stillness, with silent confidence. You don't smile. You don't blink fast. You don't look away. You just hold the gaze. Psychologically, here's what happens. You disrupt their pattern. You make them feel exposed. You make them question their own strength. You remind them you are not afraid. Because here's the secret. The one who stays emotionally calm always wins the psychological game. Now, why does this work? Because eyes are the windows to emotion. Most people don't know how to handle direct eye contact, especially when they are in the wrong. They feel seen. They feel disarmed. They feel small. And when you say nothing, but look with confidence, it creates discomfort in them, not you. It flips the power. This isn't about being aggressive. This is about being unshakable. You don't need to clap back. You don't need to insult them. You don't need to win the moment. You already won with silence and strength. Remember, the strongest person in the room is not the one who shouts the loudest. It's the one who doesn't flinch when they're tested. So the next time someone tries to cut you down, don't react, don't run, just pause, lift your chin, and look. You'll say everything, without saying a single word. Truth 7. You don't have to prove you're smart. Most people live with a secret fear. What if they don't think I'm smart enough? So they overtalk, they interrupt, they throw in complicated words, they try to sound impressive. But the harder you try to prove your intelligence, the more people see your insecurity. Here's the truth. Truly intelligent people don't need to prove anything. Their calmness is the proof. Imagine you're in a discussion about a difficult topic, politics, science, economics, whatever. Someone in the room is trying hard to sound smart. They talk fast, quote statistics, use big words. They dominate the conversation. Everyone nods, but it feels like performance. Now imagine someone else in that room. They listen deeply. They don't interrupt. They wait. And when they speak, it's calm, direct, and clear. They don't say 10 things. They say one thing. But it makes everyone pause. Which person do you trust more? That's the power of calm intelligence. Here's why it works in psychology. The brain doesn't just judge what you say. It judges how you say it. If you speak calmly, people assume you're confident. They assume you've thought deeply. They feel safer around you. And most importantly, they listen. But if you speak fast, loud, and try to dominate, they feel one thing: this person is trying too hard. In reality, intelligence is not about how much you know. It's about how clearly you can think. Smart people ask good questions, listen more than they speak, admit what they don't know, stay calm when others argue. That's why in psychology, the calm person in the room is often the most powerful. They're not trying to win approval. They're thinking 3 steps ahead. Here's what you should remember. Stop trying to sound smart. Start being silent enough to be smart. If you understand the topic, you'll explain it in simple words. If you don't, you'll admit it and ask questions. Both are signs of true intelligence. You don't need to be the loudest voice. You just need to be the clearest mind. And the people who truly matter will always notice. Truth 8. Give before you receive. But don't give everything. You've heard the advice. Be kind. Give more. Help others. And yes, that's beautiful. But here's the part they don't tell you. If you give everything to everyone, you'll be left with nothing for yourself. Psychology has a name for this: the giver's burnout. It happens when good people give too much for too long, without receiving anything in return. Imagine a candle burning in the dark. It gives light to everyone, but it's burning itself to do that. And no one notices until it burns out, until the room is dark again, and the people who once used its light have already moved on. That's what happens to people who give without limits. You help others. You support everyone. You say yes when you want to say no. You stay up late for others. You ignore your needs to solve theirs. And at first, you feel good. But slowly you start feeling unseen, exhausted, resentful, forgotten, because no one claps for the candle. They only remember the light, not the fire it came from. Now listen carefully. Giving is powerful. Helping others is beautiful, but only if you help yourself too. In psychology, there's a principle called reciprocity. People respect relationships where giving and receiving are balanced. So yes, give, but give wisely. Give your time to those who value it. Give your energy to those who return it. Give your help, but not your health. Give your kindness, but not your peace. Let me say it straight. If you destroy yourself to save others, you're teaching them that your destruction is normal. And the most dangerous people in your life are not the ones who hurt you directly. They are the ones who let you keep giving while they take and take and take. So here's the new rule. Give before you receive, but know when to stop. If they never give back, they're not your people. If they only come when they need, they're not your responsibility. If they ignore your pain, they don't deserve your light. You are not a machine. You are not a rescue team for the ungrateful. You are human. You deserve rest. You deserve care. You deserve reciprocity. So be generous. But never forget this law of psychology. People value what has boundaries. If you give everything without limits, they won't thank you. But if you give wisely, powerfully, and from a full cup, they'll feel it, they'll respect it, and you'll still have your fire. Truth 9. Label the behavior, not the person. There's a reason most arguments get worse, not better. It's not because of the topic, it's because of the words we choose. In psychology, there's a powerful communication technique that can fix almost any conflict. Attack the behavior, not the person. Let me explain. If someone acts selfishly and you say, "You're so selfish," you've just made it personal. That's now a label on their identity. And the natural human response? Defense, anger, rejection. But if you say, that behavior felt selfish to me, you've left space for growth. You've described what happened, not who they are. That tiny difference? It changes everything. Imagine your best friend is always late. You wait for them every time. You feel disrespected. And finally, one day you say, "You're so irresponsible. You always do this." Now their brain hears an attack. They say, "I'm not irresponsible." They feel misunderstood. They argue back. The fight begins. Now try this instead. "I really value our time. But when you're often late, it makes me feel like my time doesn't matter. Can we work on that?" Same emotion, same frustration, but different words. And because you didn't label them, you left space for change. This is one of the most underrated psychological tools for strong relationships. In work, in love, in family. Here's why it works. The human ego doesn't like to feel judged. When people feel labeled, they don't think about what they did wrong. They think about how to defend themselves. But when you describe what happened and how it made you feel, you invite understanding. You open space for connection. You build bridges instead of burning them. So here's the new habit. Before you speak, ask yourself, am I labeling the person? Or am I describing the behavior? And remember this, labeling kills connection. Observation invites transformation. You don't need to fight harder. You just need to speak wiser. That's how you win. Not the argument, but the relationship. Truth 10. Stay mysterious. Let them wonder, not predict. In a world where everyone is constantly posting, sharing, explaining, and overtalking, the person who stays quiet stands out. Psychology says this clearly. We are more attracted to what we don't fully understand. It's called the curiosity gap. The brain loves puzzles. And when something feels mysterious, we become obsessed with solving it. That's why people chase what they can't figure out and get bored of what they fully understand. Example. There was a man named Grayson, a quiet painter in a city full of noise. He never explained his art, never attended loud parties, never told people where he went. He lived in silence, but his paintings were everywhere. People tried to guess. Why does he only use black and red? Why does he never sell his paintings directly? Why does he never talk about his past? And because of that mystery, people became obsessed. They started creating stories about him. They gave him more meaning than he gave himself. That's the paradox of mystery. When you say less, people feel more. When you reveal less, people imagine more. And when you disappear sometimes, they remember you even louder. Now bring that to real life. If you're always explaining what you're doing, posting every moment online, talking about your plans before they happen, sharing your feelings with people who don't value them, you are making yourself predictable, and prediction kills fascination. But when you stay quiet about your next move, keep some parts of your life private, let your success speak before your voice. Speak less in a room and listen more. People start watching you closely, not because you're loud, but because you've become unreadable. That's power. Mystery creates space, and space creates value. People will wonder, what is she thinking? What is he planning? Why doesn't she explain herself like others? And that wondering keeps their eyes on you. You don't need to be fake. You just need to protect the most sacred parts of your life. And let people earn access to your story. Never forget, a locked book is more valuable than one left open on the street. So don't rush to explain. Don't reveal everything too soon. Let your silence build curiosity. Let your discipline confuse them. Let them watch in silence as you grow in silence. Maybe for the first time, you saw yourself clearly. You saw what's been holding you back. You saw who you're becoming. And maybe now you're feeling something you haven't felt in a long time. Power, direction, control. Not because your life is suddenly perfect, but because now you understand the invisible rules that shape how people treat you and how you treat yourself. And that changes everything. Now it's your turn. Don't just watch this video and move on. Apply it, live it, rewatch it, become it. Let these truths become part of your DNA. Let them guide the way you walk, speak, love, protect, and rise. Because you don't need to become louder to be heard. You don't need to become someone else to be powerful. You just need to become fully, unapologetically you. The calm you, the focused you, the dangerous and silence you. This is not the end. This is where your transformation begins. And if you felt something real during this video, if something shifted inside you even a little bit, then I invite you to subscribe, not just to my channel, but to a new version of yourself. Because here, we don't chase motivation. We build minds that never break. We study human behavior to master life, not to impress, but to evolve. So hit that subscribe button, not just for another video, but for a future where you're powerful, calm, and untouchable. You're no longer who you were before this video started, and the world is about to feel the difference.